Everybody sleeps. That's the obvious. However, did you know that sleep deprivation is actually linked to health problems and psychological problems? I and many of you can probably relate to not sleeping as many hours as we should. I too used to only sleep 2 to 3 hours a day, which helps me understand the strain that not sleeping does to the body. As many of you know, sleep is very vital to replenish energy, and after looking at many scientific articles, I can say that sleep deprivation is linked to health problems, psychological problems, and negative effects on the brain's cognitive function. First like to mention how sleep deprivation is linked to health problems. Sleep deprivation is linked to health problems because sleep is a time when the body should rest, and it has been shown that the lack of sleep people with lack of sleep people develop cardiac problems and weight gain. In an article about consequences sleep deprivation does on the body, G Medic and many others mentioned how cardiovascular issues were a cause of long-term consequences from not sleeping, and since activity in the sympathetic nervous system would increase, it clarifies that it constant constant activity of the sympathetic nervous system is caused by an imbalance in hormones that affects the metabolism and organs. Furthermore, continued sympathetic nervous system activity could result in a higher risk of hypertension. If you're not sure what hypertension is, then it's high blood pressure. It stated that it would be a 1.2 increase. Weight gain is also another factor that results from lack of sleep because sleep causes metabolic issues in the body, and it has been shown to what's it called? Sleep loss appears to affect energy metabolic primarily by impairing insulin sensitivity and increasing food intake, which would be an issue because if you gain weight, it could lead to further health issues like high cholesterol and high blood pressure, and this could result in further problems with disease. And some in the same article, it is referred that in a study done on Japanese workers, it showed that altering shifts would increase the rate of everyday smoking, drinking, lack of exercise, which resulted in an increase of BMI. Following with effects on the human body would be psychological issues that is also associated with the absence of sleep. Psychological issues are probably not as mentioned as health problems done by the lack of sleep but it is very vital to know about. Psychological issues are associated with lack of sleep and can cause feelings of depression and emotional instability. In a study done on adolescence and mental health, and it's linked to mental health, El Turkioy mentioned that sleep loss increases negative mood and a higher emotional reactivity. Furthermore, sleep deprivation has been shown to be associated with psychological issues. Sleep is linked with psychological issues because in data from the same article, it showed that data from psychiatric patients from ages 7 to 16, 95% had moderate to severe sleep problems. This further proves that sleep is linked to psychological issues because most of the patients had issues related to sleep. Also, with lack of sleep, there is problems of emotional sensitivity. The final issue of sleep deprivation that I would mention would be the negative effects on cognitive thinking and brain function. Sleep is usually needed if you make sane decisions, and the effects that it could cause on the brain is impactful. People's senses of making choices could be altered. from how people usually make rational decisions. An example would be that lack of sleep would impact people's ability to do daily functions. As previously mentioned in the article about consequences from sleep deprivation, GE Medic 20% of serious injuries that result from car accidents can be associated with driver sleepiness, independent from actual alcohol. In, from my previous knowledge, I know that sleep, being sleepy behind the wheel is more dangerous than being intoxicated on the wheel sometimes, and it could result in car accidents because just being asleep on the wheel could cause someone just a split second of being in a car accident. Also, in another research study about sleep disruption and cognitive function, 27 studies were done with nearly 70,000 participants, and mostly the majority of them had less than 6 hours of nightly sleep. This carried on an average relative risk of 1.68 increase of developing dementia caused by Alzheimer's disease. Brain function also plays a role in this since sleep is usually used for the brain to rest. In the third article, it was about disruption on cognitive function and brain amyloid B. Boyden, J. Thomas, further explaining during sleep, soluble toxic waste is better extracted from the central nervous system. Also, the production of amyloid B is increased when awake than sleeping, so long-term disturbance of sleep would result in an abundance of the waste substance, which is in the article has shown that it increases Alzheimer's disease. And the study also showed that a single night of sleep does not do much damage to cognitive ability, but it but if this is prolonged, then it would result in cognitive ability because the repeated sleep loss would contribute to a risk in dementia by the increase of amyloid B levels. This further justifies that negative effects can be shown from long-term sleep loss. In conclusion, sleep is very vital for a healthy body, mental stability, and brain cognitive function. A good takeaway from this speech would be that sleep plays many roles for the body's functional ability. So, have a nice night. Thank you.